All right, man. The last time we had left off on one of these dialogues with a couple of these bags here holding some goods.
Yeah.
What's the hype about? What do we got going on?
I didn't even know I had this bag.
You really?
Honest to God, I completely forgot about this bag. It was stuffed in the back of the cabinet behind the Berkeley Trilene bag, which I already knew I had, which I already brought out previously, which we never got into. But this one eluded me, and when I got into it last night, I was shocked. I thought I was really low on my inventory, but look at that.
Whoa.
The originals. And
that's original packaging.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what.
That thing's never been opened.
No.
Well, it has now.
No. And look how soft that plastic is. They don't have the density on that plastic anymore like that. Excuse me, they don't make it with this plastic. It's a denser plastic now. And this plastic this was the key on this bait for me. It's just subtle, soft, and it does an S wave to it when it swims. Not like the newer versions. It's a denser saltwater type plastic. No, it's no good. And like I say, these you can't find no more. And I have some left.
What year is that from? When they first hit the market? Or
oh no,
give me a range.
This is when they were on the shelves for years after the fact, and they weren't selling, because there was other baits coming out. And
retail value or price?
Oh my gosh! I think I was only paying. I was getting them discounted too. See, they had them on the shelves for $13.95. I think they were letting me have them for like $10.99 because they were sitting on the shelves, and I would buy whatever they had left, you know. And you know, here's a newer packaging, newer version, but oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. You know, for me to have these. I mean, and this color here is a cool color too. But see, as time went on, that's not bad. Plastic's pretty limber on there.
They've held up pretty good.
You know, but see, you see that? Look at that. The movement on that from right there at that point, or just even at that point. Look at that. And even at the head point too. Look. That bait will have a lot of action, and the profile, you know, is really cool. So I mean,
10-inch bait.
10-inch bait. I mean, it still does. I mean, it's old new to me as far as I'm concerned.
What does that mean?
What I call old new. It's like it's old, but it's new to the fish. They don't see these, and you know, this boot tail is something else. You know, this is what started it all. This was a kickoff back in the day. This had a lot to do with the big bait scene. It really did. Where it took off and where it went, and everybody's ideas and how they prototyped, and I'll call it Frankensteined off of this. Okay, and that's what a lot of manufacturers do. They Frankenstein off of other people's ideas, and that's what happened. But I mean, I got a whole bag of them here.
You literally have a whole bag of them.
I mean, and here's now we're going to newer packaging. Yep. We went from old to newer, but now newer, and this is when they changed the formula on the plastic, packaging, everything, and they're making it's more realistic. They retooled it, everything, but it's the plastic's not the same.
So for you, that was a key factor in this particular bait.
Is the plastic? I was looking for the older baits. I mean, it just kicked that boot tail, and it gave it an S-wave swim. That the newer, harder plastic doesn't give you all that action. Traditional, these big baits give you the walk the dog, paddle, tail, back and forth. But this gave you that head wobble, shake.
Secondary action.
Oh, it was great. It displaced a lot more water profile. Yeah, this is cool. This was Christmas for me here. You know, this is cool. I love it.
Heck yeah.
So I got backup. You know,
I love it.
Plenty of backup.
What else is in there? You don't have to pull them out of the packages, but
no, just they're all the same. They're all Castaics.
How many do you think you own? Good grief, that's a good stockpile. Oh, there's 3 more in there.
There's 3 more, so I got 6 in. 6 in here.
Uh-oh.
So this is the 6 I didn't have. So you want?
Oh man,
so
we got to do it.
So okay, this one here. Oh man. Now I call exotics. I mean, who's gonna throw that in Southern California? You know, who is? But you know what?
The wizard.
That to me would be a carp. You know, it's a perch pattern, but you know what? Bass eat carp, and I would throw that.
What?
Definitely. And this is before even IU ever came out.
A what?
IU, the color IU. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
IU.
Better than I can.
And they came up with a color pattern that, to me, it'll work anywhere. Okay? And I saw that and I go, gosh, I got to have some of those.
Oh, yeah. Some of them is an understatement.
Oh, John, what do I got? Oh, no, I got just a newer version. And I have, I think, oh, look at this. There's a dozen in there at least.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at that.
Your favorite color?
Baby bass. And they got the baby bass. There it is.
People catch bass that size, Kelly.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What are you fishing for, bro?
Yeah.
Sharks?
That right there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't have many of the baby bass. That wasn't a very popular color in Southern California back in the day. Times have changed.
Why would that make sense? I mean, it's not like there's baby bass in every bass fishing lake you're fishing.
You know,
or anything.
To be honest with you, I think as time went on, I think from back east had a lot of influence on the market here on West Coast. Colors, varieties that they use back there that we got introduced, that we started using here. And a lot of guys didn't think out of the box.
Right.
And to be honest,
they take the whole match the hatch philosophy.
Yeah.
But
the thing is, take in consideration water clarity.
They didn't have a color selector.
I did.
Google that one, boys and girls.
Color selector. That's like going back to the first computer.
That was like the Hydro Wave or like the Hummingbird Solix of its time, right?
That was crazy.
If you had a color selector,
I mean,
you were the dude.
I know guys that lived and died off of that thing out here. Only a handful of guys, and it was like on the low end there. People that just didn't want to
talk about it.
Didn't talk about it, But I saw them pre-fishing, dropping the probe down.
Yeah.
So
what is that? What exactly is that? And I guarantee you a lot of these people don't know what the heck we're talking about.
It's a color spectrum chart that you have.
Okay.
That you drop a probe down and it would gauge water clarity, but it would gauge it on a colored chart for colors of the spectrum of what colors you would use to match that color spectrum.
So if you're fishing 10 to 12 feet, you drop it down 10, 12 feet.
You would know what color to use at that depth, and then that color spectrum it would be different colors. And then
kind of like a flasher display. Almost?
No. It was.
I've actually never seen.
It was just colors, actual printed colors on a sticker, and it would gauge it like a dial gauge and gauge it, and then when it got on that specific color, like a sundial or a second hand, and then when it got on that color, that's the color. It would say chartreuse. Well, you go in your chartreuse crankbait box or chartreuse colors, whatever, worm, crankbait, jig, whatever, and you match it.
Okay.
And you would match that color to get it as close as possible. They had the gaudiest fluorescent colors too that they had, and they made color selector lures.
No kidding. It was a whole system.
Color selector lures that were made to match the colors on the dial, and some gaudy stuff, fluorescent, wild stuff. I never went that deep into it. That got out of hand for me, but I used it, for a period of time. But like anything else, it's only as good as you know how to use it and how much time you put into it. But I ventured away from it. But there was a period of time, I had to dabble into it,
How did you guys fit all this crap in those older, like 16, 17, 18-foot boats?
No, I started with an 18. I started with an 18-foot, 1974 Tidecraft tri-hull.
What?
Yeah, with a 115 Merc on it. That's what I started with. And then after that, I went into a 20-foot Champ and a 201 narrow body Champ, and I never looked back. And I had 20-footers my whole life. I never 19-foot. I had a 519 Ranger, but I've had several 20-foot Champs, and then been running the 521 VX Ranger. Best deck boat, fastest boat I'll ever have, with the high performance racing motor on the back.
Ranger gang, Ranger gang, Ranger gang.
Once I get rid of that boat, I'll never have a boat that fast. It's legitimate 74, 75 mile an hour boat. Loaded.
Yeah.
Loaded. That boat.
So the Dream Machine was 74 loaded with the first prop I had on it. She's only doing 65 with this prop now. But that's too fast for me. Like, I don't need to go that fast. It's unnecessary.
I really, when I was fishing the big lakes and big waters.
Oh, absolutely. Every minute counted for you. So
I mean, gosh, I was passing guys that were.
That's so fast.
7 to 10 boats ahead of me.
Yeah.
In flight, I would pass them.
Oh, especially if you're making a decent run.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you got to realize you're making a 20 minute, 30 minute run.
Yeah.
I mean that makes a big difference whether you get the spot or you don't get the spot.
Oh yeah.
Or you can get an extra 5, 10 casts more, whatever. It adds up throughout the day.
It totally does.
You know, and that's the key. Every time you make that move, you know, every move, every decision you make adds up to casts. And casts equal opportunities, windows. Definitely.
Nice.
Yep.
It's always a pleasure going down memory lane with you, bro.
We cracked into it finally. Yeah, but we got to focus on tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we're fishing tomorrow. That's right.
We're just going all over the place.
We're scatterbrained today.
No, definitely. Yeah, we're all over the place right now. So I'm bringing out the big bait special.
So we're bumping it up to 4.
I'm going up to 4. I'll bring out the big bait special for the mid-size 4-ounce.
That little toy I showed you.
Yeah, for like 4-ounce baits.
Nice.
5-ounce baits maximum, you know, but usually probably 3.5, 4, 5-ounce baits. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll bring that out as well. Who knows? It'll be interesting. Yeah. But this is crazy.
That's cool, man. That's old school.
Yeah, this is crazy right here.
Old school, boys and girls.
Love it.
And you guys should hear the confidence in this man's voice when he pulls one out of his tackle box in preparation to go fishing tomorrow. I mean, you can't buy that kind of confidence.
You know, I fish these down as deep as 30 feet. You know, I'll throw them down as far as deep as 30 feet and slow roll them, and just the anticipation and oh my gosh, when you just get, it's like, you know, with this bait as big as it is, you know, you'll get a thump. It's like something slapping your bait, and you're reeling it, and you're like thump, and you're like, okay.
Okay, yeah, talk me through this, because you know, a lot of people might not have any idea what to expect when actually fishing a lure this size. Like, what does a bite feel like? I get that question all the time, right?
I see a lot of guys really power set real quick off the gate, but you know, to be honest with you, it's not the way I was taught, and that's not the way I fish them. I wait to give that fish enough time to initially. Okay, they'll come up and they'll sometimes just literally, you know, we don't know exactly how they're grabbing it, but they'll come up sometimes and side grab it, front, back, whatever, underneath, and we don't really know, but they're only just taking part of the bait. You gotta realize this whole bait doesn't disappear in one gulp.
It's a big bait.
So typically they'll come in and hit it, and then that second flange, when they flange up and suck the bait in,
reposition,
and they always try to reposition, because the first hit sometimes will be just a hit, or they'll grab it and let go, or they'll just mouth it, but they're not hitting it that hard, but hard enough where you feel that thump thump. But when you feel that thump 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 and multiple thumps, you keep reeling until you really feel that once the weight comes on, and then I lay into them. I don't hit them really quick as fast as soon as I get bit. I don't. I wait a little bit, and I've always paused a little bit on the set, and I've always hooked them solid. Never lost a fish on this bait, period. Never. And to be honest with you, I think I've only donated 2 or 3
That's pretty good track record,
Two
bro.
or three on the bottom.
That's incredible.
On the bottom, yeah. I really keep myself tuned into this bait where it's at, and you know I used to belly hook them a lot. I don't belly hook them hardly at all anymore.
Why?
I'm hooking them on top now. Well, more so I can actually get down deeper, especially when I want to fish depth and get down to more sluggish fish, bottom fish. Then I'm going to keep them on the bottom a lot closer. Then I won't have the belly hook on there, and I'll have the top hook, you know, and I'll have less chance of losing them. But I've done pretty good both ways, bottom and top. But I just don't want to lose as much baits. But even when I'm fishing on top, like if I fish like what I say subsurface, which is rarely I'll fish this subsurface. I've caught them subsurface on this just when the fish were uptight, but they have to be related to a key structure. Okay, whether it be a wall, point, tree, whatever. That's when you'll get those shallower subsurface bites. But typically at mid-range, I can go down and like a crankbait. I can fish this like a crankbait. You know, literally, and cover water like this with like a crankbait, and that's what I love about it. You know, and it will locate me fish quick, really, really quick, and that's what I'm excited to do tomorrow as well. I mean, now I got three baits I'm really excited to throw tomorrow. I'm going to be torn between the three of them, to be honest with you. I can't fish them all at once, but I got 3 baits.
Well, they make this thing now called an Alabama rig. You got an opportunity to throw. No, I'm just kidding.
We're not
going to put 3 of those
going
things
to
out
we're not going to Alabama
done it.
tomorrow. No.
Don't do it.
No.
Don't do it.
No, not at all. But
yeah, it's cool to hear that you use perspective and insight from standard, very popular, traditional, highly effective technique like cranking, and apply those similar concepts to a ridiculous size bait.
This is crazy. Yeah, definitely.
Mas loco.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah.